we are ready for Monday Night Football.
What a show this man has put on tonight.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Unbelievable!
December 20th, 1982. It was a rematch of the 1981 AFC title game, and from the beginning, this one had the makings of a prime-time shootout. Bengals quarterback Ken Anderson threw for 416 yards on 40 completions, just 2 completions shy of the then NFL record. And Chargers quarterback Dan Fouts threw for 435 yards, making this the only game in Monday night history in which both quarterbacks threw for 400 yards.
Fouts, Chandler, new record.
And when it was over, the scoreboard read Chargers 50, Bengals 34. And now it's the Broncos and the Chargers. Are you ready?
Over 40 years running, still a work of art. A game filled with glory, guts, and heart. You can feel the pressure in this division. The Broncos and both on a mission. The gallery's ready, so turn up the lights. Denver invades San Diego tonight. Ready? Come on and get ready. I mean, really ready. Are you ready for the football? A Monday night party. This is Hank and I'm ready. Let's get this picture started. Let's take this town and do it up right. All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night. 55-degree night here in San Diego for the 101st meeting between these old AFL teams, AFL originals, the Broncos and Chargers here on Monday Night Football. Norm Turner in San Diego off the bye, trying to make it 3 wins in a row, get within a game of Kansas City, and the Chiefs come here in 3 weeks. Meantime, on the other side, the second-year head coach, 34-year-old Josh McDaniels. He and the Broncos will get the ball first as they won the toss and have elected to receive. We're going to put out a couple of flares here, things you need to watch for tonight. Start with San Diego kicking off. Nate Kading, their kicker, who's going to boot it. He has a groin injury, has missed the last 3 games. He didn't look great kicking in pregame warmups. And the field on your right, you'll see in a second, all beat up from rain during a San Diego State game last week. Short kickoff taken by Spencer Larson at the 11, and he returns it to the 31. You saw Kading was short on that kickoff. All right, so the quarterback, as mentioned, second year as the Broncos starter, the former Bear, Kyle Orton-John. He's putting up the best passing stats of his career.
Well, he's a lot more than just a game manager. Much improved deep ball passer. You're going to see an array of play-action passes tonight. Much improved quarterback. They throw it a lot.
Opening drive from the 31. That's the smoke from the pyrotechnics. Fake to Thomas. Throw is complete to Eddie Royal. Gain of about 8. Just shy of the 40. Antoine Kasem takes him down. Around Orton for San Diego, no Sean Moreno. Jaws mentioned, second year in the league. First 100-yard game last week in the blowout of the Chiefs. Brandon Lloyd started the week as the leading NFL player in receiving yards, nearly 1,000. Up front, Brian Clady, the All-Pro last year, getting healthy after the offseason knee injury. And a couple of rookies on the left side with Beatles and the center, J.D. Walton. Second and 2, there's play action, and Orton delivers wide open. It's Brandon Lloyd. And Jaws, you talked about play action. They hit it there.
Well, Kyle Orton is tremendous out of the play action. He's worked very hard to really become an accomplished quarterback, because you have to turn your head to the defense. As you watch Orton drop back here, he turns his head to the defense. Now you have to locate the coverage, and he does an outstanding job of that in finding Brandon Lloyd, who's averaging over 20 yards per reception.
And 21 on that one. They get it to Noshawn Moreno, flea flicker. Orton flees the pocket and throws wide open again. It's caught by Lloyd inbounds at the 22.
This Josh McDaniels, he's got all kind of plays, and there's another gadget. He went to the gadget play last week against Kansas City. There's another flea flicker, and an excellent job by Kyle Orton moving in the pocket, getting away from the blitz, and throwing another strike.
That was a gain of 18. And you saw San Diego pressuring right up the middle there to force the issue. Here's the first run of the night, and it's Knowshon Moreno right at the first down line. Very similar to the Kansas City game. Great tempo and sharpness at the start for Denver.
And this is critical. This is the area they worked on in their bye week prior to the Kansas City game. They still are dead last in yards per game and yards per attempt. But what they're doing now, they have solidified this offensive line. You see number 73 come around in that power break, Chris Cooper, and just seals the outside and creates that room for Moreno. Moreno's got it going.
Orton gives to Moreno again. He takes it inside the 5. Paul Oliver, the safety to tackle. It'll be first and goal, Denver.
You know, Denver has been criticized for being a slow starting offense. They haven't scored a point in 6 straight road games. How about this opening drive? They are running the ball with authority, mixing it with a wicked play-action attack.
Well, we spent time with the Broncos yesterday. They were a confident football team, surprising considering their 3-6 record.
Nobody's covering Gronkowski, the safety. Now they'll come over to get him here. You got Chargers running around on defense, and Moreno running into the end zone. Hello, Bronco opening drive, touchdown.
I don't know if you can do it any better than this, mixing in the run and the pass.
Well, it's just going to be a zone handoff off the left side, but look at the Chargers. They're not lined up. They're not set. And Kyle Orton uses a great tempo to set his offense and deliver a beautiful scoring drive that sets the Broncos up with a quick lead.
And Orton, who's terrific with the play action, was 2 for 2 for 29 yards on that drive.
Matt Prater adds the extra point out of the Britton Colquitt hold. Every play was at least 8 yards except for the last one. And it would have gone 8 if they needed it. Great opening drive. Denver on the board first.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Lexus. This is the pursuit of tomorrow. This is the pursuit of perfection. AT&T. Rethink possible. IBM. Let's build a smarter planet. Visit IBM.com/smarterplanet. And NFLshop.com. The best place for holiday shopping. The official store of the NFL.
Talk about the best place. San Diego. Every time you come here, you wonder, why don't we all live here? What a great spot. Ideal setting for this Monday nighter, and the Broncos with a terrific opening drive. Didn't miss on any of their plays, and the Moreno touchdown run makes it 7-0.
Boy, a healthy offensive line sure makes a difference for the Broncos.
Healthy Moreno.
Yeah. At Prater through that sloppy field, kicking to Darren Sproles. Sproles from the 7. Tackle just past the 30. Darcel McBath came in and spilled him. Sproles is going to go a long way. See if Rivers has a response right out of the gate. Denver's up 7-0. The Q, Qualcomm Stadium here in San Diego. Chargers have called this place home since 1967. About passing yards in this building, and Phillip Rivers adding to it. He and the Chargers opening drive from their own 32. Out of the gun, here we go with Rivers. Complete to Corey Sperry. Welcome to the NFL, Corey Sperry. That's his first ever catch. He was just signed off the practice squad. Rivers has needed a lot of bodies. He has no Antonio Gates tonight, Jaws.
Yeah, and Phillip Rivers has taken this offensive team and basically put it on his shoulders and carried them. No matter, it seems who goes in there as a wide receiver, he finds a way to get the ball to them. He throws receivers open, and he's the best deep ball thrower in the NFL.
Mike Tolbert is starting with Ryan Matthews out. And Tolbert gets the first carry and cannot get back to the line of scrimmage. Joe Mays made the tackle. So this San Diego offense, so many different faces in there because of the injuries. Matthews, high ankle sprain, forced to miss his second full game. Tolbert and Sproles, part of the backpod committee. McMichael, one of the tight ends, filling in for Gates. Malcolm Floyd and Creighton start at receiver. Up front, you have Nick Hardwick in the center. He's been to the Pro Bowl. Marcus McNeil twice to the Pro Bowl. Remember, he held out early in the season. He's kind of kicking in gear and coming around. Now his 5th game. Sproles, the third down back on 3rd and 3. Denver rushes 3, and Rivers lost one for Floyd. He caught it, but he was out of bounds. The right foot came down out of bounds. Nate Jones over there on coverage, 3 and out, San Diego.
We'll take a look at it. Malcolm Floyd clearly out of bounds. That's a big stop for this Denver defense. Josh McDaniels told us they wanted to make Phillip Rivers convert 8 or 9 third downs. And here we go with the play that has really given the Chargers fits this year.
Steve Crosby is their special teams coach. They've had 5 different snappers. Mike Cyphers able to get that one away. When you hear the sarcastic cheers from the crowd, Eddie Royal fielded it inside his own 5 and brought it back to the 17. Well, these Charger fans, it just happened to see a punt get off. And it was 58 yards with 14 of return. Timeout in San Diego. Last year he started 6-0, and everybody could trip over themselves to try to pat Josh McDaniels on the back. Things had gone bad end of last year, start of this year. Let's remind everyone, this guy called the plays in New England when the Patriots had that record-setting 2007 where they lost the Super Bowl to the Giants. Very good designer of offense. We saw that last week, 49 points, and in the first drive this week. From the 17, here's Orton. Off the hands of DeVar Gaffney and incomplete. It's against a defense for San Diego that has been very tough to move it on. Only 275 yards a game. Antonio Garay is a great story. A guy who's playing the nose tackle and doing a very good job as he's come in here the last 2 seasons. Linebackers, Phillips has 7 sacks. Cooper's the leader. He calls the signals. A couple of first-round picks on the corners in Kaysen, the 3rd-year man, Jammer, the 9th-year man. We saw Paul Oliver. He starts for Steve Gregory, out with an injury tonight. Orton play action, time, but nobody open. So he gets Daniel Graham for no gain.
The Broncos do an excellent job with their play-action game. That affords Orton time in the pocket. Off the play-action, they usually run 2 receiver routes. That means they have 8 potential blockers. Orton had a lot of time in the pocket. You'll see the hard play-action fake to sell the defense. He sets up good, clean pocket. Excellent job in protection by the Broncos, but the coverage is outstanding down the field.
Antoine Applewhite made the tackle. It's 3rd and a long 10. Orton's throw is caught. Terrell Buckhalter going to be a yard short of the first down. Tackled by 5 different Chargers. It'll force Denver's first punt of the night.
That's a key stop right there for San Diego. Just a 4-man rush, zone coverage. And San Diego's done one thing very well this year on defense, and that is deny big plays. And that time they rallied, get off the field, key 3rd down stop.
Sproles back for the Britton cold quick punt in a very soft area of the field. Kick was 40 yards. Here's Sproles getting to the edge. And brought down to 45. That's Darcel McBath with his 2nd special teams tackle of the night.
40 yards on the punt. Darcel McBath with the tackle.
During the return, holding. Return team number 59. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Brandon Silent.
Special teams problems continue.
Back up field position for Rivers and the Chargers. How do you handle your business in the division goes a long way for success. And Philip Rivers has 6-2 his career against the Broncos. Only 4 interceptions in those games. And you start talking about active players. Who does the best against one team in terms of stats? Well, the passer ranking puts all ratings, puts all the stats together. Among the active quarterbacks, Peyton Manning against Houston is the best. And the next one's right there. Philip Rivers against Denver. So he sees the horses on the side of the helmet and he's happy. First drive, 3 and out. Second drive from their own 30 after the penalty. Out of the gun, 5 receivers out there, and one of them Sproles. Caught it for 3. Joe Mays with the tackle. John?
You know, you talk about Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, all the players that those two guys are missing around them this year. How about Philip Rivers? There is no Antonio Gates. There is no Legadou Nene. Ryan Matthews, his first-round draft choice, the running back. Buster Davis. I mean, Vincent Jackson hasn't played all year, and this guy is on schedule to break every one of Dan Marino's passing records this year. Amazing start for Philip Rivers and North Turner offensively.
Second and 7. They say Chris Dielman moved. We'll see if it is 68.
False start. Number 68 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Jaws, these are some of the players just in volume of games missed.
And you're missing an incredible amount of production. All these guys have been, at one time or another, a go-to receiver for Philip Rivers. And you'll see Vincent Jackson at the top of the list be coming back next week.
And with Gates and Matthews out tonight, make that 2 games that each of them have missed. Gates missed the last one. He has the torn plantar fascia of the foot. Very painful injury. Mike Tolbert filling in for Matthews to the 45-yard line. Tolbert's in his 3rd year out of Coastal Carolina.
Well, it's one thing Denver hasn't done this year, and that's stop the run. And if you're going to play all these zone coverages and you're going to rush 3 guys all night, Mike Tolbert has got to pick up the slack. And he is a physical downhill back. He has come out of nowhere from Coastal Carolina to feature back to the San Diego Chargers. Great story.
The gain is 17 for Tolbert. Rivers swinging out Sproles to the open field. Nowhere to go. Champ Bailey's seen that before. Making his 176th NFL start. Bailey with the tackle. Loss of 4.
Yeah, when Sproles in the game, they like to get him the ball on the perimeter. And the one thing you're seeing about this Denver defense, they know how explosive the Chargers are on offense. You'll see their safety, Ronaldo Hill. He's like playing 25 yards deep in the passing game. So clearly they're not going to give Philip Rivers those options to get the deep ball if he plays that deep.
Rivers, they bring heat, they bring a 5th. Rivers escapes and gets rid of it incomplete. The pressure came from Justin Bannon and Mario Hagan. 3rd down coming up. That defense playing pretty well, including Jamal Williams, who was 12 years a Charger. First time he goes against San Diego. Rest of the base defense, a 3-4. Jason Hunter starts at linebacker tonight. Robert Ayers is out again. DJ Williams leads him in tackles and sacks. We saw Champ Bailey make a play. He's in his 12th year. Brian Dawkins still cranking along. 15th year in the league at age 37. That's Don Wink Martindale. Linebacker coach last year. Defensive coordinator this year. 3rd and 14. Rivers. Pass deflected and knocked down. It was Kevin Alexander, a undrafted free agent out of Clemson, who knocked it down, and only 6 pass plays with 7 net yards so far for Rivers.
Yeah, the Denver Broncos secondary has been outstanding. Philip Rivers has nowhere to go with the football. It's a veteran secondary, not giving Philip Rivers that quick pass, then locking the receivers down, and then the rush gets to Rivers.
Again, Cyphers and the Chargers, all their special teams problems, and they look at a fake here, and Cyphers cruised down the middle of the field for Tolbert. First down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 28. That's the way you don't block.
There you go. That'll take the pressure off the punt block schemes.
Well, Steve Crosby's been around a long time, and Seifried has struggled physically, but take a look at Tolbert right here. He's just going to leak out. He's going to bluff like he's blocking and slip right down the seams. I have no idea what Eric Decker, the rookie wide receiver, is looking at. But Seifried throws a nice ball here, Jaws.
I think he went to his second option on that as well, John.
8th year in the league, first completion. He was 0 for 2 with an interception. He had never run for a first down, never thrown for one until there. From the 31, Tolbert runs to 3 to the 28-yard line. So you saw Steve Crosby, the special teams coach. Get so many people thinking block these guys. Seifried was telling me what a nightmare of a season he's been hearing from other punters around the league with all their problems. So nice for that unit to feel good coming off the field.
They'll be texting all those punters around the league right after the game. You know how those guys are. They got their little fraternity. And there's the guy right there, Steve Crosby. Well, I tell you, he's been around a long time. For the most part, done an outstanding job. It's just been an aberration with their kicking game this year.
Now let's see if San Diego can turn it into points. Rivers to Jacob Hester. He gets to the 22-yard line. You have Hester and Tolbert and Sproles will spread out the running back stuff here tonight for Norv Turner.
One thing I really like about Norv Turner's offense is they use every eligible receiver. This group of running backs has caught over 70 passes, and Hester's a very good receiver out of the backfield. They'll use all the tight ends, all the receivers, but these running backs are going to be big factors tonight against all this zone coverage from Denver.
John, you nailed it. For the Chargers, 14 receivers have caught a ball this year.
Timeout taken as we had 3rd and a yard coming up for the Chargers. Trying to make the fake punt pay off in points. Big problems for the Chargers. That's Randy McMichael, the tight end who started for Antonio Gates. Watch him as he goes for his left hamstring after he just was trying to plant and throw a blocker, just cut. And then he came over feeling a lot of pain. McMichael had 2 touchdowns in the game last time they played. And with McMichael on the sideline, Gates out, Chris Wilson, the 3rd tight end out, only Corey Sperry, playing his first NFL game, is a healthy tight end at this moment. And here's short yardage, 3rd and 1 with Patrick Creighton in the deep back. And Tolbert running for the first down. To the 9, 1st and goal. Mike Tolbert gets 13.
And Corey Sperry, the only available tight end, came in motion across the formation, and they ran right behind him.
Well, it's a fullback belly play, and Norv Turner's going to have to make some serious adjustments in his play calling in short yardage and goal line situations. When you're down to 1 tight end, and that tight end being Corey Sperry, who hasn't played much, Norv Turner's going to have to really adjust his game plan in these tight red zone, short yardage, and goal line situations. Look at him there right now.
Sperry, first San Diego games, did play briefly half the season with Miami last year. Spot duty at most. Tackled by Joe Mays of Tolbert as he gets to the 5, and McMichael looking to try to get back in there. Veteran guy, 9 years in the league. He, too, a former Dolphin.
Boy, he made a couple unbelievable catches in the last Chargers game to help him get a win over Houston.
Second and goal, he moves Creighton to motion. Rivers, end zone, incomplete. Coverage back there with Ronaldo Hill, the safety, who put the hit on McMichael, who just came back in.
Well, they used Patrick Creighton. Occupy underneath coverage. Take a look at number 12, Creighton. He's going to try to occupy the underneath coverage, and they look for McMichael over the top.
But a nice job by Ronaldo Hill coming in from the backside, knocking that ball away.
Broncos playing a lot of zone coverage down in here in this tight red zone.
Play 12 of the drive. Same look at the bottom of the screen with McMichael and Creighton. They covered it again in the back of the end zone. It's caught by Malcolm Floyd. Touchdown, San Diego.
Well, the Broncos came with a three-man rush. Phillip Rivers had all kinds of time in the pocket to survey the field. You get that kind of time, someone's going to break open. Some receiver's going to uncover, and McMichael does a great job. You see, here's a sugar blitz right there. But they drop out and only rush three. You see Rivers move around, buying some time, and allowing his receiver to uncover. You check it right here. You go to the corner. Now you got the route coming underneath. There's Floyd. He sits down. Really nice job by Floyd, feeling that void in the defense and sitting down.
Movement up front.
Yeah, but when you put those linebackers up on the line of scrimmage until the ball is snapped and then just spot drop them, sometimes they don't recognize patterns. They don't get into position. And when you go against a guy like Norv Turner and Phillip Rivers, that's like a slam dunk.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 79. That 5-yard penalty will be assessed on the ensuing kickoff.
What's wrong with this field? I mean, I've never seen this field in this bad a shape. This is not an easy kick. This is a quagmire.
I think you liked this field when you played the Raiders here and they won a championship. Remember that game, didn't you? Field was good.
Vacating, able to add the extra point. They played San Diego State, Utah here on Saturday night. It rained. Rain got under the tarp that was down in that area. That's why it's so bad at that end. It's really bad. Tied at 7. The touchdown is Rivers to Floyd. The drive kept alive by the fake punt and Mike Cyphers passed to Tolbert. Another very big 28-yard play on the drive. Waiting, another short kick. It'll be Spencer Larson for the second time tonight. And the backup fullback returns at 16 to the 26.
Well, take a look at it. They're going to show blitz. The Denver Broncos are going to show all-out man-to-man blitz coverage. And when the ball snapped, take a look at everybody fall out of there, just spot dropping into the end zone. They don't have any route recognition, wide-open receivers. If you're going to rush 3 guys, Jaws, get 8 guys in position to cover the Chargers receivers. Don't leave them wide open.
Yeah. John Phillip Rivers read it perfectly. He knew it wasn't a blitz.
Denver first drive a touchdown. Second drive 3 and out. Noshawn Moreno takes it to the 30-yard line, a gain of about 3 yards. Moreno was taken with the 12th pick of the 2009 draft out of Georgia. He was the top rookie rusher last year in the National Football League, and some were disappointed that he had not had a 100-yard game. Well, that changed when he got one last week against Kansas City, a career-high 106. Hasn't had a run of more than 17 yards all season. Play action, Orton got it out quick and complete to this year's first-round pick, Demaryius Thomas in front of Kaysen.
Boy, Denver runs a lot of one-back power plays, and they hand the ball to Moreno repeatedly behind pulling guard Zane Beadles. And this time, he's not going to hand it. He's going to pull it. All the linebackers buy the fake, and that's another strike by Orton. This play-action passing game that Denver possesses is as good as anybody in the league, and here's Tim Tebow.
Yep. Thomas was taken with the 22nd pick of the draft. They traded up to get the 25th pick, Tim Tebow. He puts it in the belly of Moreno, who slips and slides on this bad middle of the field. And a short gain, John.
Well, that's another play that Tebow ran in his college career, the zone read. He's going to hand the ball off while he reads the defensive end, and if the end squeezes it, he'll keep it. But every time Tim Tebow's come on the field, Jaws, I've seen him run a play that he ran at the University of Florida.
He ran him very well at Florida, no question about that. And he's had some great success inside the 5-yard line with this Broncos offense. But I don't like taking Kyle Orton off the field in these situations.
There's the play action again. And Orton throws incomplete in the direction of Demaryius Thomas. Good pass rush by Sean Phillips.
You know, as I've watched this Broncos offense this season, they're very proficient in the play-action passing game. You'll see Orton. Look at the passer rating using the play action. 120.4, 12 yards per pass attempt. Just his normal drop-back passes, not nearly as good as he is as a play-action passer.
Three receivers left, one right. San Diego brings 5, and Orton throws complete to Lloyd for the first down into Charger territory at the 46. Good quarter for Kyle Orton, 7 of 9, 78 yards.
And they went after Quentin Jammer, who's having another solid season, but they got Brandon Lloyd singled on Jammer. Tremendous timing.
Through 1 in San Diego. Chargers 7, Broncos 7 on Monday Night Football. Per game, they're 1 and 2 in the NFL in passing yards so far this year. Many of them have trying to come from behind because the Chargers and Broncos have been behind during these tough times to start. Denver 3 and 6, San Diego 4 and 5. There you see what they did in the first quarter of Monday Night Football. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Michelle Tafoya with you here in San Diego.
Mike, I know a lot of those yards might be what we call insignificant yards, but the fact that both these teams are throwing the ball down the field, these safeties are playing deep tonight.
On first down, here's Moreno bouncing it to the outside. He'll gain 7 yards to the 39-yard line.
I think it's important that Denver stays with this running game. This has not been a balanced offense. 80% of their yardage has come through the air, and that's about the 3rd time they've hammered that one-back power play off the left side. No Sean Moreno. If they can get him going, this is a tough offense to stop. They got him going last week against the Chiefs. Great start tonight.
Fake the run, fake the end around to Royal. Orton shot downfield, it's open! Off the head of the defensive back, Weddle, and incomplete.
Well, that was just an underthrow by Kyle Orton. Lloyd was way behind Weddle. It should have been an easy touchdown. He underthrew it. You'll see the play action fake to Moreno. Now the fake reverse to Royal. Now the deep throw. He's behind Weddle. Lloyd is. Ball just underthrown.
Thought a guy's head, a guy's arm. As he put it out at the very last second. Did you see Weddle slip on the bad field as well? Going to be a big problem for the DBs also tonight. 3rd and 3, looking toward Gaffney. It's intercepted by Antoine Cason. Cason, who was playing bump coverage with him, reroutes him. Sean Phillips forced it with his pressure, and Cason brought it back 27 yards. First turnover of the game by Denver.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. Vote for the GMC Never Say Never sweepstakes for a chance to win a GMC Sierra Denali at gmc.com/NFL. Verizon 4G LTE. Rule the air with the most advanced 4G network in the world. And Corona, who invites you to find your beach.
Full moon illuminating San Diego at about 20 after 6 here on the West Coast. Josh McDaniels talking with Kyle Orton, Brandon Lloyd, and the rest of the Broncos after their offense has turned it over and given Phillip Rivers the ball at the Broncos 40. Mike Tolbert, the running back, up the middle for 5. Back to the interception.
Take a look at the left tackle, Ryan Clady. Sometimes on these 3-step drops, you have to cut the defensive end's hands down. Clady didn't get enough of Phillips right there, and obviously Orton's under duress. But look at the route, Jaws. I think up top, Gaffney needs to release to the outside to try to widen Cason, who saw it the whole way. That's bad football right there by the Broncos. Poor pass protection, and I think we had a breakdown in the route there.
Miscommunication on the routes.
Saw his 7th career pick, 3rd this year for Cason. He's been active tonight. It's a backward pass to Creighton, who can throw to Sproles down the sideline, who's covered by Champ Bailey.
How about these two coaches? Norv Turner just starts that series with an unbalanced line. Now he comes back with some gadget play of his own. Creighton looks like he can throw the ball a little bit.
That's pretty good.
He was 0 for 2 with an interception in his career, much like Cyphers. So Cyphers got off the schneid, but Creighton did not.
Well, he showed it too quick. You know, when he got the ball, he was already winding up to throw it.
Long field goals will be hard for the Chargers tonight with Kading's groin injury that he's coming back from here tonight. 3rd and 4. Pressure off the corner by Nate Jones. Forced it out quick, and it was incomplete. And it's 4th down.
And you can see Phillip Rivers looking at Creighton right there. We need a blitz adjustment right here off the slot. Take a look at the pressure coming right at the bottom of the screen. Creighton's got to gauge it down and look for the ball hot. And Rivers was looking for Creighton to do just that.
All right, so it'll be a field goal attempt for Nate Kading. He's missed his last 3 with a right groin injury. It'll be over 50 yards. He has the highest field goal percentage in NFL history. But if he misses this one, Mike Vanderjagt jumps back up to the top of the list. 52-yarder. Online, long enough? No. And this is a guy who's made 9 career 50-yarders at groin injury, and the soft field may have hurt him there. The Bronco turnover does not turn into points as Kading is short. Rare to see him short from 52. With your leftovers, 2 massive games for the BCS. Number 1, Oregon against Arizona. And then after that, Boise State tries to wrap up its perfect season against Nevada, a good team. That's on ESPN Friday starting at 7 o'clock. Of course, ESPN, your home of all the BCS Bowls, including the BCS National Championship in Glendale, Arizona on January 10th. Orton takes over from his own 42, and Moreno gets a yard. Into the playbook with the guys.
You know what makes this play-action passing game so good? Look at one of their feature runs. Let's call it the punch. The backside guard pulls. It's a one-back power off the double team. And it looks exactly like the punch pass. They're going to fake the ball to Moreno, and the play looks exactly the same. Josh McDaniels has created protections that look exactly like their feature runs, and it's been hard for defenses to handle this year.
This is 2nd down. This is a screen with Moreno. Got 2 good blocks, and Noshan is tripped up by Paul Oliver. Gain of 19 for Moreno.
Orton does a nice job of playing a game with the defense, drawing the pass rush to him. He sets up, then resets, and checks the ball down to Moreno. Boy, you see the offensive lineman getting out in front. Always critical. Beatles, the young guy. Walton, the young guy. A couple rookies starting that offensive line. Big and athletic, getting out in front of Moreno.
That's his 2nd and 3rd round pick. The guard, Beatles from Utah. The center, Walton from Baylor. From the 38, run to the left for a couple of yards with Lance Ball to the right, excuse me. And SportsCenter right now with Trey Wingo.
Michael, thank you. The end of the road for Brad Childress, fired after 4+ seasons after the 31-3 debacle against the Packers. Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator, the interim head coach, and Brett Favre will start Sunday against the Redskins. Meanwhile, Titans owner Bud Adams says Vince Young and head coach Jeff Fisher got to work it out. They're both going to be back next season, although Young's 2010 season is over with a torn tendon in his right thumb. Back to San Diego.
Strange doings. Thanks, Trey. 2nd and 9. Play action. Didn't fool Shaun Phillips. Sack 8 on the year.
Well, Shaun Phillips is the outside linebacker that the San Diego Chargers and Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator, loves to get after the quarterback. But you'll see number 46, Spencer Larson, has got to make that pickup. He's got to scan the field. You see Phillips, a clean shot at Orton. Larson whiffed on the block.
That's a tough block. I mean, Larson's got to come across the formation to block that guy. Some of these play-action protections are outstanding. I might keep that one in the glove compartment.
Denver's going to take a timeout. We'll just run it down here as the play was in look. 3rd and 16 coming up. Game all even at 7 apiece. About 70,000 strong. They fill up Qualcomm Stadium. You look down with our aerial coverage tonight, brought to you by DirecTV. No blackout. Games sold out here in San Diego tonight. 3 of the first 4 games were blacked out. The sack by Phillips leaves 3rd and 16 for Kyle Orton in Denver. movement up front.
False start. 78. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator for the San Diego Chargers, loves to bring the heat, and this is a good blitzing team. They only blitz about 34% of the time, but the quarterback rating against this defense when the Chargers do blitz is a lowly 65.
Only runs 3 this time. Orton surveys and throws it through the hands of the rookie Demaryius Thomas. Went over coverage. The Broncos will punt it away.
Well, they blew a golden opportunity that time. Had great field position. The sack by Phillips forced them way behind in a down and distance.
Darren Sproles awaits Britton Colquitt to punt. His brother Dustin kicks for Kansas City. Dad and his uncle also punted in the league. Big old moonball. Sproles with a fair catch at the 12-yard line, John.
We'll take a look at the sack. Normally, when the tackle blocks down on the backside, the defensive end closes. But Phillips, he saw it the whole way. He went straight up the field for Orton. Easy sack. When you run that protection and ask a back to come across the formation to block an outside linebacker, you're counting on him to close. When he goes straight up the field, that's a tough adjustment for any fullback.
But John, as a fullback, you have to have your head on the swivel. You see that outside linebacker on the line of scrimmage, he's going to be coming. You got to abandon the fake and get out there and make the block.
4th drive for the Chargers. Begins with Tolbert. Or only a yard to the 14-yard line. We talk about Mike Tolbert. And Phillip Rivers turned to him the Arizona game. He had 100 yards. He scored a touchdown in his last 6 games. At a Coastal Carolina school that did not have football for very long, he was their leading rusher in 2007. Their leading rusher in 06. Tyler Thigpen, quarterback for the Miami Dolphins last week. They were together in the backfield early on at Coastal, and now they're both in the NFL. There's Ryan Matthews, the first-round pick, who's out tonight with that high ankle injury. 2nd and 9, a play action for Rivers. Flag down, Creighton's got it, first down. Check the laundry, it's a gain of 16 if it stands. I don't think it's going to. Oh, no, it will. It's going to be on the Broncos.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 98 to the defense. That 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the play. First down.
Ryan McBean and Marcus Thomas were sure they were going to get a call on the Chargers. They were high-fiving. Now their heads are down and they're walking.
Well, taking a look at Phillip Rivers, looks like he's getting a little bored out here, Jaws. The Broncos have been rushing 3, playing a lot of 2 deep, disrupting these receivers with 5 and 6 men underneath in coverage. Phillips just got to keep taking what they give him, let the big plays happen.
Another play action for the 45. Looking for Creighton. Got it on the run. There's Creighton in the red zone. Stiff arm still going. Out of bounds at the 6. Gain of 49.
Well, as I said, the big plays will happen. That was the first time I saw Denver play single safety middle with man-to-man coverage. And Phillip Rivers has to be one of the top deep ball passers in pro football. Watch him come right out of the fake. Creighton wins, and that ball's thrown with great anticipation. Perfect location. Nice finish.
You know, we talked about Kyle Orton's ability to be effective with the play-action passing. Phillip Rivers amongst the best as well.
The rookie, Perich Cox, was trailing in coverage from the 6. Up the middle, Jacob Hester. Got 4 to the 2-yard line. After the play, a lot of pushing and shoving going on. And a helmet loss by Marcus McNeil, and the scuffle breaks out with a flag throw. McNeil lost his helmet, was unhappy about that, and that led to the continuation that finally resulted in a flag.
And Jamal Williams, number 76, the former San Diego Charger, right in the middle of it.
Let's watch McNeil here at the end. There's Vickerson with a hand to the face first.
I don't know what McNeil did. I know this. These AFC Western teams, Jaws, I used to coach in this division. They all hate each other. Denver, San Diego, Oakland, Kansas City. They hate each other, that's for sure.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 99 of the defense. After this is the roll. Automatic first down.
You know, often in those, they don't get the right guy, but they got the right guy there because he started it.
This is when you're calling plays. You run the ball right behind McNeil. He's a Pro Bowl left tackle. He's tipped off right now. I'm going to hand the ball to Mike Tolbert right behind my Pro Bowl left tackle and let him get even.
All right, we're going to find out if Norv's listening to you, and he would do the same thing.
Marcus McNeil's been to the Pro Bowl twice, held out this year. Came back after 5 games.
I'd run behind him. He wasn't angry. 6'7", 336 pounds.
Tolbert, good job crashing by Joe Mays, who was traded here from the Eagles.
Joe Mays has been outstanding since the Broncos have converted. Well, they went back to their 3-4 defense after experimenting with the 4-3 defense, and Joe Mays has been the reason why they've been able to do it. You'll see him right there, number 51. He reads the block of McNeil and closes fast, and he just blows up Jacob Hesper as he tries to block him. What an outstanding job by Joe Mays. 5'11", 246 pounds.
5 tackles tonight. 2nd and goal. They'll go left side, keeping the legs churning. Tolbert in. Touchdown Chargers.
Well, they do run left behind McNeil. It's a power play. Watch the right guard, Vasquez, pulling to daylight. And here comes Mike Tolbert. Good finish. Clearly across the line. Good goal line sequence there by the San Diego Chargers.
Of all guys in the NFL, did you have Mike Tolbert as the first to score in 7 consecutive games in the NFL this year? One of them was 2-point conversion, but he has scored in 7 straight. 6 plays and 87 yards. San Diego scored the last 14. And Turner's team takes the lead. No love lost in this division. Remember Christmas Eve 07, Jay Cutler and Phillip Rivers barking back? Not exactly a stay classy San Diego moment for Phillip. And before the game that we had here in 09, the pregame pushing and shoving, and there tonight you see Marcus McNeil getting involved with Kevin Vickerson. There's the angst that division rivalries develop, and these are AFL originals, as you have throughout the division with Kansas City and Oakland as well.
Well, like I said, I was in this division, and these teams have been together since 1960. They hate each other. You can't wait to pick up the schedule and see when you get to play each other. The hair on the back of your neck rises, Jaws. You love that series.
Get me excited, John.
Kidding. For the line drive kickoff, Demarius Thomas, the rookie from the 7. Big for a kick returner. Big target to hit. He returns at 20 yards to the 27-yard line. Well, you talk about it, it's everywhere in the division. The Jaws, how about last week when Todd Haley would not shake hands after the 49-29 loss?
I don't think Todd Haley's very happy about that loss, not shaking Josh McDaniels' hand.
Hey, I coached just like that. I would be mad at Josh McDaniels, too, if he put 50 points on me.
Stop him.
I mean, this is the AFC West. If the Chargers win tonight, they're a game out of first. If they lose tonight, they're in last place.
From the 27, Moreno toss right. Got a really nice block from Dan Gronkowski, but only gains 3. Eric Weddle on the tackle. And Todd Haley, when he cooled down on Monday, did say he was wrong. He should have shaken hands with Josh McDaniels, and all is forgiven until they meet again in a couple of weeks. Denver's at KC after they play St. Louis at Invesco at Mile High on Sunday. Trying to get some offense here. Scored on the opening drive and looked great. Not much since. Orton, play action. Nobody open his side of the field. So we'll run it for 4 to the 34. Sean Phillips having a good half. Chased him down.
Sean Phillips all over the field in this first half. As once again, the Broncos go play action, but no one opened downfield. Kyle tried to buy a little time, but no one was able to uncover. And Sean Phillips just keep working to make the play.
Well, there's just the two guys in this route. Everybody else is going to block. I'm for all the play action passes, but if they cover two receivers, there's nowhere for Orton to go. Another big third down here for this Bronco offense.
And Moreno, his throw back to Orton, who he doesn't elude Phillips. What a play. Man, Sean Phillips is having a half.
Once again, more trickery from the Denver Broncos. You're going to see the throwback, but Sean Phillips is not fooled. Just stay at home, expect something from the Denver Broncos, and he finishes off Kyle Orton with the sack. Here you see in that slow motion, just staying and getting the ankles of Kyle Orton and taking him down. Outstanding awareness by Sean Phillips.
That's his former Purdue teammate he took down. Punting time for Colquitt. Short, fair catch called and made. Great field position as Weddle catches it at his own 47. Sean Phillips has a couple of sacks. Now 9 here on the season. Remember, this is the defense that was defined in many ways by the presence of Sean Merriman, who was finally released by this team on November 2nd, 3 weeks ago. And Phillips is taking the sack roll with 9 so far.
And conversely, one of the problems Denver's had on defense is they just have not been able to generate any pass rush. Elvis Dumerville, who led the league in sacks last year as a Bronco, out for the year. They've had a hard time getting any pressure on opposing quarterbacks.
Only 13 so far this season.
After that bad punt, only 29 yards. Here's Tolbert. No gain there as Ronaldo Hill stops him. And let's flip it here, guys. We talk about San Diego and how their defense doesn't have Merriman or Cromartie, and you mentioned Dumerville going out in his injury very beginning of the camp. There's a Denver defense also. Other than Champ Bailey and Brian Dawkins, not a lot of familiar names nationally.
And they have a new defensive coordinator. How about that for a sudden change? I mean, they have a new defensive coordinator in Denver a lot. But Wink Martindale has done an excellent job fighting through the injuries and the change that they've had on defense. A lot of problems in Denver.
Second and 10, Rivers is pressured. Rivers is sacked.
Right on cue, Justin Bannon wins up the middle and gets a sack on Phillip Rivers.
That's what they need. Rush up the middle. Bannon is a guy they acquired from the Baltimore Ravens. Right over the right guard, just an inside move. That's too easy.
That was an excellent move he put on Luis Vasquez to get around him. Good quickness by Justin Bannon.
They brought in Bannon as a free agent, the former Colorado Buff. It's his first sack in a couple of years. The opener of 08, last time he had a sack. Needs to get to the Bronco 42. Rivers unloads toward Malcolm Floyd. Intercepted by Champ Bailey for the 48th time in his great career. A pick for Champ Bailey.
What a play.
Malcolm Floyd at 6'5", and Phillip Rivers is going to give him a chance to make the play against the 6-foot Champ Bailey. But Bailey has outstanding ball skills. When the ball's in the air, he goes up to the highest point and takes it away from Malcolm Floyd. Look at this play by Champ Bailey. Just snatches that one out of midair and pulls it in and holds on.
I'm surprised they worked on Champ Bailey. Paris Cox is on the other side. 9-time Pro Bowler. 48 career interceptions. I'd work on the rookie.
The Georgia Bulldog, Knowshon Moreno, no gain. Donald Strickland comes in and makes the tackle. He sat with Bailey and Dawkins last night, the two veterans of this defense. You sit there and you look at 27 years of NFL experience and 17 Pro Bowls for those two guys.
And everybody asked Dawkins, how long are you going to play? Champ Bailey, last year of his contract. A lot of uncertainty, but you got to give these two Warriors credit. They bring it every week.
They're still productive.
Number 16, Demaryius Thomas, rookie out of Georgia Tech. It's about 5 yards to the 21-yard line. Thomas with the grab. He now has 20 on this season.
That should be Demaryius. Alert, alert, alert. I'm in the game, Thomas. When he comes in the game, Josh McDaniels does an excellent job getting him the football, whether it be on quick screens, reverses, you name it. They're bringing this rookie along slowly, and they like him a lot. Size, speed guy.
Trips over here to the right. Norton's talking to them. Moreno, his back is to his left. Eddie Royal wasn't there for it. Donald Strickland almost had his third career interception. And so now we're going to have the last 5 possessions. Denver with a pick and 4 punts.
Well, Denver's clearly out of sync offensively right now. They're struggling to get any momentum going. They're trying the gimmicks, trying the gadgets. They didn't work. They try to pound the ball a little bit. That didn't work. Right now, they need to settle themselves down.
And Sproles is dangerous. I'd be real careful giving him a good look. This guy has broken games open.
Got back a couple of punts for touchdown on his career. This time Colquitt got off a better kick. 39 yards. Sproles brought down to 46. Well covered on special teams. Thomas was down there. For those of you just tuning in, Broncos walked it down the field in the opening drive. Moreno a touchdown. 7-0 Denver. The response to that sloppy end of the field. Rivers on a third down finds Malcolm Floyd to tie the game at 7. And then Mike Tolbert powering it in from a yard out, putting San Diego on top. The only points of this second quarter. And a full moon here over Qualcomm. Chargers trying to get to 5-5 within a game of the Chiefs atop the AFC West. Norv Turner's team has lost both of its division games so far this year at Kansas City and at Oakland. Rivers, Tolbert, first down. DJ Williams the tackle.
This Phillip Rivers is really good in the pocket. He comes out of these play-action fakes, and you know he wants to push the ball deep. But he pushes forward in the pocket. He keeps 2 hands on the ball, and he knows where everybody is. Watch him come right out of this fake and rip his head around to look down the field. He pushes up with 2 hands on the ball and gently checks it down to Tolbert. He knows this offense like the back of his hand. You're for Norv Turner's system, and boy, does it show.
Number 40, Creighton. Right past Dawkins. Creighton on a run. Patrick Creighton got it all. Touchdown, San Diego.
Well, that's a backbreaker.
Brian Dawkins missed him.
Right there in position for the play. It's just a one-back power play. They fake it, throw a quick screen to Creighton. He makes Dawkins miss. And that's why this guy was very productive as a Dallas Cowboy all those years, Ron.
Well, it's pretty simple there. Brian Dawkins has to make that play. But you're right, John. When you look at Creighton, he can make people miss in space.
Keating, he will have the extra point. It's 21-7 Chargers. They've scored the last 3.
Oh, you're going to see the fake in there. He just throws a screen out here to Patrick Creighton. Dawkins has to make that tackle. And here's another San Diego Charger, Mike, that has stepped up in the absence of Vincent Jackson, in the absence of Antonio Gates. This young man has really stepped up.
And here you see Brian Dawkins in space, got to make this play. He doesn't make the tackle. Now Creighton picks up the convoy. Now the offensive linemen are downfield, and now he's starting to smell the end zone. No one's going to get him, not even Nathan Jones.
It's all those screen plays in Norv Turner's offense. We looked at his sideline sheet last year. There's screens to the tight end, to the fullback, the halfback. There you see a screen to a wide receiver. He drives you crazy with his perimeter offense.
You saw Creighton being escorted back to the locker room, and maybe he was injured along the way as they're already without multiple receivers. Let's get a quick peek here as he was getting in and stretching out for the touchdown. And gets bent back there, and he immediately showing Phillip Rivers a left hand when it came down. Didn't feel right, so he is back off to the locker room. Demarius Thomas with the kickoff return. He's hit at 25. Brandon Seiler.
Seiler's another guy they're happy to have back from injury. That was a full speed. I heard that one. That was a nice hit.
2-minute warning here in San Diego, and the Chargers, with a couple of scores here in the second quarter, have extended the lead. Orton, the Broncos, opened up 7-0. Now they're digging out of a 14-point hole. Each team has a couple of timeouts, and San Diego gets the ball to start the second half. So it's a very important drive. Somebody to watch for on this drive, John?
Yeah, keep an eye on number 95, Shawn Phillips. He'll play with his hand down as a defensive end, and before you know it, he'll stand up and become a linebacker. He presents a lot of look problems for the offense.
And there is his hand on the ground right now.
He's blocked. Orton looks, throws. That's right off the hands of Antoine Cason, who almost had his second pick of the quarter, but there's a flag in that secondary. And it'll be on San Diego.
Bias interference. Defense, number 20. Automatic first down.
That's one thing that the Chargers told us yesterday. They want to get their hands on these receivers. The Raiders and the Jets got in the face of these Bronco receivers, and that's something that the Chargers wanted to do themselves, although Cason got there early that time. But look for these corners to tighten their coverage at the line of scrimmage and try to disrupt these Bronco receivers.
Second first down of the quarter here. Eddie Royal gets a touch, got a block, got 4 yards. Quentin Jammer, the tackle.
When Eddie Royal is on the field, there are a lot of gimmicks and gadgets as part of their game plan. He's kind of the movable chess piece in their offense.
He was slowed by a hamstring injury this week. 2nd and 6. Flag down. Royal caught it. The 45-yard line. Donald Strickland, the veteran.
Ball's going to go against Eddie Royal on Donald Strickland.
Pass interference. Offense, number 19. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
We got a Toyota halftime show coming up with Chris Berman, Chris Mortensen, and Adam Schefter. Boomer takes you through the best of Week 11 with the fastest 3 minutes. Of course, Mort and Adam been all over the big story in the NFL today. 2 of them. Brad Childress fired in Minnesota, and the continuing saga with Vince Young in Nashville. You guys will have the latest on the Toyota halftime show coming up. Flag makes it 2nd and 16. Orton, nice shot. Around the zone and over it to Gaffney. Tackled by Oliver. First down.
The key was protection. When you're going to throw the ball 18, 19 yards down the field, Orton needed time. His offensive line stood firm and allowed the route to develop down the field to Gaffney.
Turning clock, 2 timeouts. We approach a minute as Orton throws incomplete for his tight end, Daniel Graham.
It's all about protection first. You got to have the guys up front doing the job. Here you see Shawn Phillips. They kept the tight end to get a little chip on him, widened him out. But an excellent job by Ryan Harris keeping Shawn Phillips away from Kyle Orton. Then you get the time to find that window to throw the football through.
When that clock stops, as it is right now, that's when Ron Rivera likes to dial up the blitz, look for the Chargers to heat Orton up quick.
The flag down as Orton fires. It's caught for the first down with forward progress for Gaffney. And they'll give it to him down at the Charger 38. But let's check the flag. Just thrown at the line. And again, Jeff Triplett.
Offside. Defense, number 92, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
You know, Kyle Orton has worked diligently in improving his deep ball. You can just see the improved arm strength, and he is throwing the football with much more velocity.
Good time for Orton. Here's his shot. All the way downfield. Gaffney went up for it. The double coverage breaks it up. Paul Oliver, the safety, pacing the busy corner in this second quarter.
Well, that's an aggressive decision by Kyle Orton. Once again, the pass protection is outstanding by the Denver Broncos. Take a look at Gaffney at a double move at the top of the screen. He and Kaysen one-on-one with help over the top from Oliver. They're taking their shots tonight.
The guy who has made those plays this year for them is Brandon Lloyd. He's been the acrobat in the air to go get it. Second and 10, screen Terrell Buckhalter. Chased down by Luis Castillo. And Antoine Applewhite, another flag down.
Well, offensive pass interference on a screen play.
Go figure. That's what you're going to get.
Blocking before the ball is thrown. I think they're going to get Demaryius Thomas.
There's Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers. A fine player in this league for a long time with those Bears and Buddy Ryan.
Still a conversation over there, one about the penalty and talking with Norv Turner what he wants to do. He had lost a few yards there. You want third and a dozen or push it back?
Pass interference. Offense, number 88. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
You know, Jaws, we just talked about Ron Rivera in his playing days with the Bears. He was the defensive coordinator with the Bears as they had a good year getting to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And the quarterback of the Chicago Bears during the playoff run the year before that, or during the regular season before that, was Orton. So he's got a good familiarity with Kyle Orton, whose offense has made a big mistake there with that 10-yard penalty. Second and 20, it's Buckhalter, dropped it.
Just one mistake after another right now for this Denver Bronco offense. They have a rookie, Demaryius Thomas, blocking. Take a look at it down the field before the ball is thrown on a screen pass. The outside release, you try to widen the corner, you can't block, and then you drop the football. These are self-induced errors that are killing Denver right now.
2 10-yard penalties and a drop on this drive. Orton down, sack. Cam Thomas, the rookie fifth-round pick out of North Carolina, who has played sparingly this year, sends them all the way back, and now Norv Turner's going to take a timeout with 18 seconds left.
You'll see number 98, Antoine Barnes, will get some good pressure up the middle, looping right now in the face of Kyle Orton, and then you see the finishing off. Outstanding job, but it was Antoine Barnes up the middle that forced Kyle Orton to move.
The sack was Thomas's first in the NFL. It's just his third game, John.
Where does general manager A.J. Smith find all these players? I mean, the nose guard, Antonio Garay, you just see Cam Thomas in there. There's a number of Charger players that come out of obscurity with all these injuries and play key roles.
It's been a year of opportunity because of all the injuries that have happened to this team. And A.J. Smith, the general manager you talk about, he gets criticized a lot around here for what they have not done in the postseason, but they still build winning teams for the regular season.
And he has found those players that most people have discarded along the way, and yet he's getting guys into that make plays for him.
A.J. on the right side of your screen in the lavender shirt with the white collar. Pressure on Colquitt. Came after him and almost got it. It'll be out of bounds with 11 seconds left. And it'll be at the 29-yard line.
And Norv Turner used that timeout. He went with the all-out block that time. He's getting aggressive with his punt block team himself.
11 seconds left as Rivers comes out. I know a lot of Broncos fans from a generation ago were saddened by the news yesterday, the sudden passing of Rob Lytle, one of the Broncos who was part of the late 70s, early 80s team. He was an All-American at Michigan, finished third in the Heisman. As a rookie with Denver, scored the team's first ever Super Bowl touchdown in their loss to Dallas. Sad news that was pretty sudden as Rob Lytle passed away yesterday at age 56. Our thoughts with his family, one of the great Broncos, Rob Lytle, passing away yesterday. Ball belongs to San Diego to start the third quarter. At the half, the Chargers have scored the last 21, lead by 14. Now Chris Berman time on the Toyota halftime show.
Monday Night Football, a game of grit, perseverance, and pride. The Broncos revealed an unbridled determination, but San Diego snapped back into form. Will the Chargers continue their conquest, or will the Broncos stand defiant? The Denver Broncos versus the San Diego Chargers on Monday Night Football. The clash continues.
And San Diego's second half of the season push continues. Trying to get a third consecutive win and get within a game in the AFC West. They get the ball to start the third. Mike, John, and Jaws. What happened to Denver after that first drive, Ron?
Well, you got to give some credit to that San Diego defense. They really got it together after that beautiful drive orchestrated by Kyle Orton to start the game, take it right down the field for a touchdown. But since then, been nothing.
I credit Norv Turner. That fake punt by Seifried was huge,
yes.
And Sean Phillips has ignited this team. He had the big hit on Orton that caused the interception, 2 outstanding sacks, and they have a chance right now to pull away here early in the third quarter.
Matt Prater kicks to Darren Sproles to start the second half. Sproles from the 3. Knocked down 28, and we send it down to Michelle Tafoya.
Hey, guys, I just spoke with Josh McDaniels. Now, they're on defense now, and he said, we have got to tackle better. We gave up too many big plays in that first half. And he also talked about the penalties, saying, we've just got to focus and do our jobs. That's what we talked about in the locker room. This game is not out of hand, he said, and we can't act like it is. He talked about that Cyphers fake punt and the throw. He said, we thought they might do something like that. We thought we had prepared for everything, but they got away with one. Mike?
They certainly did. It's been their special teams problems, but they turned it to a positive. Michelle, Patrick Creighton, who scored the last touchdown, left wrist injury. His return questionable. Sproles. And about 6 yards, chased all the way down by Mario Hagan from the other side. Here are your numbers through the first 30 minutes. These two prolific passing attacks. San Diego kicking it in gear in the second quarter. Both teams perfect inside the 20. See San Diego the better field position. And John, you pointed out the sacks from Phillips. 3 sacks for the Chargers in that first half. Denver trying to avoid a 3-7 start here on the season. Must game for the Broncos. After the gain of 6, here's Tolbert. Got a really nice block by Chris Steelman, but put it on the ground. It's like the Chargers fell back on it. Blue ball, you hear. First down.
That's one thing that's plagued the Chargers. They fumbled it 16 times and lost 13. They're lucky to get that back. But Tolbert on a zone handoff out of split backs, you'll see him. He comes underneath the quarterback, breaks a tackle. You got to protect the football. The Chargers have so many runners that are new to carrying the ball. They've got to do a better job securing it. They're lucky there.
With Brian Dawkins in that secondary, you know he's going to be attacking the football and tackling the ball.
Third fumble of the year for Tolbert. He lost his first 2. Here's Sproles for 1.5 yards.
How different are these two backs? Darren Sproles got to be all of 5'6", 190 pounds, incredible quickness, stop and start ability. And then you go to Mike Tolbert, who's about the same height, about 50 pounds bigger.
And they're missing Ryan Matthews, their first-round draft choice, who they were absolutely in love with. But he's out tonight. But these two guys are just filling in and doing an outstanding job when you look at Tolbert and Sproles. Different, but they get the job done.
Rivers given time. Throws that is incomplete as Floyd couldn't dig it off the ground. You guys mentioned Matthews, who was taken in the first round of the draft by San Diego, missing the game again, aggravated that high ankle sprain from week 2 against Houston 15 days ago. Couldn't come back. Much like Noshawn Moreno on the other side with Denver, he's the 12th overall pick of his draft. And the guy who's charged with essentially replacing the future Hall of Famer LaDainian Tomlinson.
Well, he's got to stay healthy. He had a hard time staying healthy at Fresno State. He's having a hard time staying healthy now. That's the key to being an NFL back. Availability.
This would be big for Denver's defense. 3rd and 9. Bringing a bunch of people. Rivers got rid of it. Got Sproles. Open field, Darren Sproles. He goes all the way. Touchdown, San Diego. A blitz beater for 57 yards.
Well, we spoke earlier about Phillip Rivers' ability to step up in the pocket, get in the eye of the storm. And he had time to find, you'll see him right here.
Well, they pick up the blitz. McMichael does a great job, and they get Dawkins one-on-one with Sproles, and that is what you call a mismatch. Excellent blitz pickup by the San Diego Chargers, and when you have Darren Sproles coming out of the backfield, you better have the right guy covering him or he'll rip you.
And pressure doesn't get home. It's a mismatch, and you got Brian Dawkins matched up against Darren Sproles. You saw the result.
Creating adds the extra points. San Diego has scored 28 in a row. Phillip Rivers got the protection, got his little guy, and got his 3rd touchdown of the night.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Madden NFL 11. Available now. EA Sports, it's in the game. Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. And NFL.com. Vote for the 2011 NFL Pro Bowl exclusively at NFL.com/Pro Bowl.
Pretty look at a pretty city. San Diego, and Charger fans been rocking the queue here as their team has scored 28 unanswered, and Phillip Rivers, who leads the NFL in completions that cover 40 or more, just hit another one to Darren Sproles to make it 28-7. Kickoff return, Demaryius Thomas. Flag down, Thomas down at 41. And another flag comes down. So 2 separates. One back by the block that sprung Thomas free, and one by the tackle at the 40.
Jeff Triplett's been busy tonight.
Well, you see Josh McDaniel on the sideline. He's got to get his team fired up and motivated. They're struggling right now.
It's going to take a minute to figure out because they had 2 flags. 2 separate flags. Daniels got to that 6-0 start. Record sitting at 11-14 after the 2-8 finish last year. And 3-6 here in 2010. And you see the numbers as they add up. Broncos could be in a situation where they lose 15 out of a 20-game stretch. Hasn't happened to them before.
This must be
a long time, I should say.
Confusing penalty here.
There are 2 fouls on the play.
John.
Tripping, number 87 of the kicking team. Holding, number 87 of the receiving team. By rule, those penalties will offset at the spot of the receiving team's hold. First down.
It's going to be a long field for Denver. 71-72 the last time the Broncos had a stretch, losing 15 out of 20 games.
Thanks, Mike.
There's welcome. Broncos start at their own 19. They open the first half with a very impressive drive that looked like the Denver team we saw against Kansas City when they put up 49 last week. Then for the rest of the half, they look like the Denver team that won 2 of their first 8 games. San Diego's defense, a lot to do with that. Moreno left. It's 3 yards, Ron.
And Sean Phillips was the big impact player of the first half for the San Diego Chargers. Here, you'll see him beat the clock, and this caused the interception right there. He got in Orton's face, and here, tremendous discipline. He saw that it was a play-action fake, went right after the quarterback. Again here, you see the vision of Sean Phillips, understanding what the play design was and making another big play. He was dominant in that first half with a couple sacks for the Chargers.
Orton gets Demaryius Thomas. Payson got right around Ryan Clady, who was trying to block him, and made the play.
Well, these San Diego Chargers secondary players are pressing these wide receivers. They are not giving much ground. Watch Kaysen on this quick screen. He gets there before Clady can make the block. That's a great job by defensive coordinator Ron Rivera all week. He has emphasized cheating these corners up and taking away these easy throws that Orton has had a lot of success with.
And on the play, Demaryius Thomas, who was tackled, got hurt. They're looking at his leg as we get a timeout. Thomas helped off by the Denver medical staff. Broncos defense asking for some help from the crowd for third down. Point long enough, and you'll get the flag, and they did.
False start. Number 74 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Penalty 7.
Sean Phillips is driving these guys crazy. He's moving all over the place. That time he's dancing around in the A-gap between the center and the guard. This is a defensive end. You saw him with the sacks in the first half. Now they've moved him into the middle linebacker position. He is a key part of this Charger defense. Standing up again.
He's already had a 4-sack game this year. He's got 2 tonight. Orton throw through the hands of Brandon Lloyd, and incomplete. And Denver opens up the quarter 3 and out.
Well, when you're in 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13 all night, it's very difficult to make conversions of first down. This Charger defense has been outstanding since that first drive. Ron Rivera has the defense humming.
Well, the man whose speed got the last touchdown, Darren Sproles, back deep. Colquitt gets rid of it quickly.
Look out.
A lot of room here, John. 44-yard kick. Sproles at the 40. Waited to make the move and only returns at 5. Saquon Thompson, along with David Bruton on the tackle. Well, in the history of the NFL, we talk passing yards in a single season. The 1-2 are Dan Marino from his great 84 season, 5,084 yards, and Drew Brees, who came close and could have equaled that in that last game that New Orleans played in 2008. Fast forward to these guys and what they're on pace for. Rivers, 327 a game through the first 9, would put him in the 5,000 club and set the all-time mark. Orton would be just behind there, 12 yards shy of 5,000. So to say Rivers, 327 per game thus far this year, 195 tonight. Tolbert right, got a good block from Hester, and gets it near the 49-yard line. Ron, let's talk for a second about the development of Rivers. 5th year as a starter, and in Norv Turner's very creative pass offense, he's been such a good fit with his skill set.
He gets better every single year, and he's one of those guys we always say about the elite quarterbacks in this game. First guy into work, last guy to leave the office. He's improved every phase of his game. Every phase since he's gotten in this league.
Tolbert ran into his offensive lineman, the center Hardwick, and the pushback there leaves no gain.
Take a look at the last play. It's a halfback choice. We used to call this Jaws and gain 10 or 12 yards. Sproles is going to come out here. He can break to the outside. He can break to the inside. And normally you get a one-on-one situation and you get a first down. But Sproles can take it to the house. This is why he's the franchise player of the San Diego Chargers. He is a difference maker. Not many teams have that kind of speed coming out of the backfield.
So that buck 685 halfback option, that's the numerical system that they use here.
3rd and 6, here comes Denver. Pressure. Rivers got rid of it. What a catch by Malcolm Floyd. at the 33, a first down gain of 18.
Well, we talk about quarterbacks understanding holes in the defense. As you talked about Phillip Rivers, he throws Malcolm Floyd open. You'll see sets up nice in the pocket. Sproles gets out of the backfield, picks up the blitz. Phillips now sees Malcolm Floyd, throws to the middle of the field. That's the void of the defense. Phillip Rivers throws him open. But excellent, outstanding job picking up the blitz. That's where it starts with. Sproles understands that, and Rivers makes a terrific throw.
Good for him to get Floyd back in the lineup, the guy who missed the last 3 with a hamstring injury. McMichael has played through a tweak of his hamstring tonight. Sproles. Good first pursuit by D.J. Williams. There's a marker down as Williams helped make the tackle with Ryan
Holding
McBee.
number 73 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's on Marcus McNeil. We mentioned D.J. Williams, who was benched for the opening drive against Kansas City. A DUI arrest happened the Friday before that game. He already had a guilty DUI plea previously, so could be looking at suspension as he's injured there off of making that play and goes down to the ground. Williams, who was stripped of his captaincy because of what happened there 10 days ago, being looked at by the Bronco medical staff now. Injury timeout here with 8:43 as McDaniels and Orton try to find an answer on offense. For the next 5 at home for San Diego, including tonight on top by 21. D.J. Williams helped off the field. Training staff looking at him. And just a play before that, they took the receiver Demaryius Thomas to the locker room on the cart. Leg injury, out rest of the game. 39, a gun run with Sproles, met in the hole by Joe Mays, and a gain of 4. You mentioned San Diego getting momentum, and they'll get Vincent Jackson back next week. This is the 3rd and final game of his suspension from his holdout from the preseason.
Oh, this guy's a great receiver. He's a physically imposing guy. About 6'5". How'd you like to be the Indianapolis Colts, knowing you got Antonio Gates, Vincent Jackson coming back? This Charger football team is still loaded.
Indianapolis plays San Diego on Sunday night. Rivers incomplete behind Malcolm Floyd. What kind of options getting Jackson back in the lineup will that mean for Rivers?
Well, he's a big, tall, strong target. Phillip Rivers is already a tremendous deep ball thrower. He'll be even better with Vincent Jackson. These are jump balls. These are those alley-oops. He's just a big, strong guy. Can take it away from anybody.
Jackson coming back. Both he and Marcus McNeil had contract issues in the preseason. They played hardball with him, to be honest. We're not going to give him the extended deal, the labor uncertainty, and the holdout affecting them. San Diego's going to take a timeout. They waited too long to make the decision on field goal or not. It's a 53-yard attempt. So they'll take a timeout here because the play clock was going to run out on them. After the timeout, San Diego made the right choice for field position, and with a kicker who couldn't make a 52-yarder before to punt. But you saw the special teams coach, Coach Crosby, and that's now another guy who gets to worry. Because Steve has seen his team at 4 blocked and 1 deflected. Mike Wint, the 5th long snapper of the year. Denver is playing punt safe. So Cypher is able to down him inside the 10. At the 5-yard line. Well, the Denver Broncos trying to turn things around here. A lot of guys have left the Rockies. Jay Cutler with the Bears, Brandon Marshall with Miami. These guys are having good, productive seasons in their new places. They're not alone. Peyton Hillis didn't fit this system, I guess. He moved on to Cleveland and has had a very good year. Could get 1,000. Tony Scheffler went back to his native Michigan to play with the Lions. And Alfonso Smith, who they moved up to draft and take, they let him go after a year. He's tied for 3rd in the NFL with 5 interceptions. And the names that have departed, plus the results in the standings, have brought heat on Josh McDaniels here just past the midway point of the 2nd year. Drive start from the 5. Orton backpedaling. Caught by Brandon Lloyd, who now leads the NFL in receiving yards again to the 18.
You know, my concern for the Broncos would be on the defensive side of the ball. The average age of the Broncos defensive starters this season is just over 30 years old. only the Pittsburgh Steelers' average age is older. And it's hard to replenish a defense when you're getting that old. We're seeing it tonight. Brian Dawkins is struggling in coverage and his tackling ability. Champ Bailey's up in years. Ronaldo Hill's up in years. They've got to get a younger secondary.
A.T. Norton taking his deep shot downfield for Lloyd. Incomplete. He had Eric Weddle there in coverage. And they've hit a lot of those deep balls this year, but not that one.
Well, Brandon stopped running. And then he came alive right at the end, tried to surge and make that play. But take a look at it. He's going to break to the outside and then just kind of gauge it down. Then he sees the ball thrown and he accelerates. Normally, Brandon Lloyd makes that catch. I wonder if he lost that in the lights.
He has incredible body control. He's made acrobatic catches all season long. I believe he did lose it, John.
He's out catching his breath. Demarius Thomas is out, so the rookie out of Minnesota, Eric Decker's in at receiver. That's Moreno. That's going nowhere. Kevin Burnett back at the 14-yard line.
Well, Kevin Burnett read that screen all the way, but the other thing that's confused Bronco fans, I think, is who's the quarterback. You make the trade, you get Brady Quinn. Now, don't forget, Brady Quinn is a highly touted guy. Everybody knows who Brady Quinn is. You give up Peyton Hillis to get him, and then you trade up to get Tim Tebow. People are confused. They're buying Tim Tebow jerseys, but he doesn't play.
Well, Horton has played pretty well. You can't lay this on the quarterback, but I see what you're saying. That first round, he's probably going to use some help now.
3rd and 13. Chargers bring 4. Orton throws to his tight end Graham. Well short of the first down. And their third down problems continue. They're 1 and 9.
You know, I understand you try to stockpile some talent at the quarterback position, but this is clearly a team that needed some help. Not to draft a quarterback in the first round and say, hey, 3 or 4 years, we're going to develop him, and we're going to have a solid quarterback. They just have too many other needs that I didn't believe they addressed in the draft this season.
Both quick kicks, another short kick, 33 yards. Caught by Eric Weddle. It's been a frustrating night for Denver on the field and on the season. Staring 3-7 in the face. '28-year-old Phillip Rivers, who the Giants technically selected with the 4th overall pick of the 2004 draft. And we know how that played out in the draft of '04, and he's become 5-year starter now here in San Diego.
Well, how he became the quarterback of the Chargers, that's an interesting story. You got that right.
Played for 4 years at North Carolina State, out of Athens, Alabama. Fire and the ability to go with it. Turns and gives to Mike Tolbert. Being a 6, take us back down that road, John.
Yeah, let's just rethink this. Years ago, I thought they were going to get Michael Vick. Remember, the Chargers had the rights to Michael Vick. Nope, they traded Michael Vick. They decided on Drew Brees. Not a bad decision. Then they say, let's draft Eli Manning. So you got Vick, you got Brees and Manning. No, let's trade Manning and get Phillip Rivers. How about having the rights to those 4 stallions? Wow. That's why I love the Chargers.
Officially was a gain of 6 by Tolbert. Got another carry and another 3 yards.
You know, then you go to training camp with Phillip Rivers. You see him at the top, Doug Flutie, Drew Brees, Cleo Lemon. And you work on his fundamentals. And Phillip Rivers had a chance to watch Drew Brees and be around a guy like Flutie every day. But Drew Brees put this guy on a schedule. Marty Schottenheimer, one of the most organized guys in football. Look at those eyes. He heard everything Drew Brees said and did. He followed orders from Marty Schottenheimer. He put himself on the fast track to superstardom.
3rd and a yard. We had movement up front, flag thrown. And the first down gained on the run, but the flags first. Take 10 seconds to sort this one out.
Gives these referees a little time to figure out what the penalty is sometimes tonight.
Encroachment, defense, right tackle. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So I've known this general manager, A.J. Smith, a long time. And people are on his case a little bit. He's taken too hard of a line with Vincent Jackson and McNeil, the left tackle, but you can't argue with success. The San Diego Chargers are one of the cream of the crop in the National Football League. He's a big reason for it.
First down run with Hester for a yard and run.
But, you know, the demands on general managers, coaches, are so excessive. You know, winning isn't what it's all about now. You got to win championships. We spoke about Andy Reid, you know, last week. You know, he wins 2 out of every 3 games. They go to the playoffs, but until you hoist that Vince Lombardi trophy, you just don't get any love. A.J. Smith has done a great job here. This team competes every year. They're a playoff team. They're going to be 5-5 after tonight, a game out of first place. Hell, when all said and done, they'll probably be in first place. But, man, I tell you what, he believed in Philip Rivers. He stuck by him, and you can see the result right now, an elite NFL quarterback.
Number 39, Sproles bouncing to the outside. Champ Bailey comes down on the corner to make a stop. Just to note on DJ Williams out earlier, concussion, will not return here tonight.
So, you know, after talking with A.J. Smith, he spent some time with the Buffalo Bills. And the guy that drove him crazy was Dan Marino. And Philip Rivers' release reminds him of Dan Marino. The wide base, the quick arm. He barely raises his elbow. Very little movement in the body. Look at that release, Jaws. That's even better than yours. But Philip Rivers has a very similar size, stature that Marino had, and that quick, wide base, accurate throwing motion. Very similar.
Watch it here on 3rd and 8.
Wow.
And then watch him do that.
First down.
He's like a 12-year-old kid the way he plays the game. He hadn't changed at all since he's been in the backyard.
Yep.
He doesn't have great speed, Jaws, but he knows exactly how to play the position. He knew where that 3rd down marker was. Drops back to pass. Take a look at it. Eyes downfield. There's no contain. That's just a great effort by Philip Rivers, and he does a wise thing getting out of bounds. But look at him. Dive for that pylon. You got to love watching this guy.
That's awareness on the football field. And, well, you talk about the release. You talk about the cerebral part. He can also extend the play.
Back to the guys who run it for a living. Tolbert inside the 25-yard line. You know, I covered him a lot at North Carolina State, where he played for 4 years. He came out, and I mentioned he's from Alabama. His dad was a high school coach. And Philip had a moxie about him even then, kind of an edge to him that annoyed you if you were on the other side of the sideline. He's carried that to the NFL, but he was so productive at NC State. They didn't win the big bowl games. They won some okay bowls.
Well,
but he was the MVP of every one.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the Senior Bowl when he came out.
Yeah, it's got that little quirky delivery, you know, and that kind of bothered some people coming out. And I remember talking to Marty Schottenheimer. He compared it to Bernie Kosar.
There's Tolbert carrying to the 21-yard line.
Yeah, he get the ball out of his hand, and that's always the key for the quarterback. You got to get it out of your hand quickly under pressure. And look at how that ball just out under duress, finds people. And I like this right here. Look at that tight elbow. Now the ball's coming out. Look, he sees right where it has to go. Snaps that wrist. You see the hips drive through and an accurate throw. It's a little bit quirky. It may not be for everybody, but this guy puts the ball on the money.
That's for me.
I'd raise it up a little higher, John. Well, I would argue about one thing about that, about the execution, the passing game with Philip Rivers.
This is 3rd and 3. There's a little shot put out there to Corey Sperry, who gets a first down inside the 10. Second year out of Colorado State as he's played. You know, you talk about that elbow, that little short release. It's kind of like a shortstop on a double play. When they get it, you know, quick whip it to the second baseman.
We'll take a look at it. I mean, we sat with Oral Hershiser, the great Major League Baseball pitcher, yesterday. He said, run that back.
Yeah.
Rivers has a quick, accurate release. He barely raises his elbow. And you're right, Mike. It's like a Derek Jeter turning the ball over at shortstop. But he's all over right now with every receiver. He's throwing the ball. Guys, he probably just missed.
Corey Sperry elevated from the practice squad because of Gates' injury tonight, and Chris Wilson. Tolbert takes it to the 4 and takes us to the other end for the 4th quarter. Look at Rivers. They're all going to get there with you, Philip.
He's ready to go. Let's keep playing. This is fun.
They will follow you. They've been following them to a lot of wins, especially here in November and December. Off we go to the fourth quarter in San Diego. And that noise you hear is the Chargers kicking in gear late in the year again. That guy's seen it all. He saw Allworth. He saw Hadel. He saw Fouts. Saw Winslow, the original. Now it's watching Rivers and the Chargers.
Those are some great names. You know, we're talking about Phillip Rivers. Boy, that guy's happy to see him.
Look at that.
Anybody with 30-plus starts in those months, regular season games, November, December, January, that record's the best of that group. Phillip Rivers is one when the games are tough to win late in the season. His team takes the fourth quarter first snap from the 4 and a run for Tolbert of a yard. It's been a mostly run drive here, except for the one pass to Sperry. Here's the San Diego trying to take a 35-7 lead. The Broncos scored the first 7. North Turner's team scored the next 28.
Mike, you think of the Phillip Rivers and numbers he's putting up, and you think of the vertical passing game and Sid Gilman and Don Coryell. What a perfect fit for Phillip Rivers to come here and Norv Turner's, vertical push the ball down the field offense. And he's in the prime of his career. He's going to put up some astronomical numbers before he's done.
And going to throw for the 4th touchdown of the night. That's Jacob Hester.
Well, this Denver defense right now is totally disoriented. They don't know to play the run, the pass, the drop back, the play action.
Yeah, but Ron, that's so easy. That's an old-fashioned play that's been in the league since you were playing.
Day one of training camp.
That's just a fullback. He's going to slip right into the flat, and no one's there. This 3rd and goal, you're at the 3-yard line. You might want to be alert for that fullback in the flat pass. But what a drive by San Diego. And again, Phillip Rivers, you see him breaking the huddle, telling guys where to go, what to do. 4 touchdown passes.
Hayden adds the extra point. Back-to-back games. He only had 1 4-touchdown pass game in his career before these back-to-backs. That happened against Tampa Bay in 2008, it says here. 2 weeks in a row now. John.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Radio Shack. The Shack makes you a holiday hero. Nissan, innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. And ESPNshop.com, where you can get all of your official NFL sideline gear.
Get ready for Thanksgiving weekend. All across the country, here in San Diego. The Chargers home on Monday and Sunday of Thanksgiving week. We got Phillip Rivers rolling. Peyton Manning and the Colts coming up next.
Don't eat too much, John. They gain a little weight.
Harris Cox is back deep for the kickoff return, but again, they continue to kick it short. 3rd kickoff return for Spencer Larson. He stopped shy of the 30 by Pat Watkins, a new Charger signee this week. So Rivers back-to-back games, 4 touchdown passes. Only 2 other San Diego Chargers have done that. Hall of Famer Dan Fouts and the Super Bowl champion Drew Brees. Now Rivers. And again, doing it tonight without Gates, waiting for Jackson, who comes back in the next game. Down 28, starts with a run with Moreno to the 34, John.
Just watch how this guy breaks on. He's like a coach. Look at him. He's got all these new guys playing with him. He breaks the huddle. He tells Sperry, who just got here, where to go. Randy McMichael, you go here. And he's got a young receiver, Ajura Tutu, who has to go to the right and then go in motion. This guy, Phillip Rivers, you can tell his dad was a coach. He runs the show.
It was very informative, John. You just wanted to be the first to say Ajura Tutu tonight. Lloyd with the catch to the 36-yard line.
And say it properly.
But, you talk about that guy, too. It's been many guys who come in, and, John, you said it at the very beginning, that leadership attitude of Rivers, give me the next guy up, and we'll coach him up, and we'll get it to work, and we'll win. And it was not because of him that this team started slow. It was the special teams problems that they had. Pass was deflected and knocked down by Stephen Cooper. And it'll bring up 4th down.
But, we talk a lot about quarterbacks. You played the position. I coached the position. You don't move forward in this league without stellar play at that position. We saw what Vic did last week. We see where the Eagles are as a football team. The Chargers have every reason to win this division again and advance because of Phillip Rivers. If I'm the Indianapolis Colts right now, I'll say it again, I'd be real uneasy about the San Diego Chargers getting off that plane next year.
Sproles from the 14. Tag with the 21, high hit by Joe Mays. It's easy to have a high hit on a 5'6" guy. 35-7 San Diego. Long night over here on the Broncos defensive side of the ball. 35-7 San Diego. I know a lot of you have Thanksgiving traditions in your family. For many of you, it includes playing some football in the backyard with the kids. It's some of the great memories that many of us have for Thanksgiving. This is a guy who played a little football in the backyard growing up as the son of a coach in Alabama. Rivers handing to Tolbert, who's been busy tonight. His 20th carry. It's approaching 80 yards.
Well, when you watch as much film as we do, we got film of Phillip Rivers playing in the backyard. Look at this kid.
Yeah.
12 years old, wanted to be an NFL quarterback, was the water boy for his dad's high school team. Look at him making those moves. But this is where the passion all starts with a lot of kids.
Cool.
And it started in Alabama, small town, Phillip Rivers. And here he is on the West Coast dominating the NFL.
Got that Bill Parker sign still up there.
You know, the reason he throws the ball the way he does, almost like a little shot put type motion, as Tolbert gets a yard here, is because he was the water boy for his dad, and he was growing up, and he's trying to throw the football that's way too big for him at that point. So the best thing he could do is kind of push it forward and push it forward. And it's become his signature delivery and kind of sliding up in the pocket like that. And it runs in the family now, too.
Well, I hear he's got a brother that's a good player, Mike. High schooler, is that true?
He does. His dad, Steve, is a coach, and the younger brother, Steven, was just eliminated in the playoffs down in Alabama.
We have some film on that, too. I don't know.
Are you trying to set that up, John?
It's in the vault somewhere. I'm sure we got it. We're loading tonight.
I know we're working John Stockton, the assist man here, dishing it. Rivers being chased down, throws it towards Sproles. It's incomplete. Jaws and I don't have our own vault. We just bring video to the table. Philip's dad is coaching his son, Steven. Watch this. Does that look like Phillip Rivers? It's unbelievable.
But accurate. Keep it accurate.
Looks exactly like this guy. It's amazing. He is bound for LSU.
Mike the Tiger's going to love this guy.
So Les Miles.
No. We got to name our stuff. We don't have a vault, you know, and we were just a couple slappies up here, Mike, you and I.
It's neat looking, though, to watch how much his brother looks exactly like him.
Next thing you're going to tell me is he married his junior high sweetheart.
He did. They're bringing 10 to try to block the Cyphers punt, and they got rid of it. So San Diego's cleaned up this part of special teams tonight. Eddie Royal from the 28. Worked the sideline, still going. And out of bounds. Nice return here by Royal. A very small net, a good return. Denver's got the ball in great field position, which is the only good thing we've been able to say about the Broncos here in the last 2 hours. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Good look there inside Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, over here in Mission Valley. A lot of football games been played here over the years. In 1967, with all the new stadiums coming online over the last 3 decades, Qualcomm's kind of moved up the all-time list in hosting NFL games. Orton faked it left, got Marino right, and there goes Noshawn. To the 25-yard line. First down game. So how about this? Qualcomm is 4th now on the list of all-time NFL games played in the stadium. And these top 3, we don't play in anymore. Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Wrigley, where they had the Northwestern Illinois game on Saturday. That was fun to watch on ESPNU, and Giant Stadium, which of course is no longer there. The new Meadowlands Stadium. Moreno runs inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line.
And Denver in the hurry-up offense. Need a quick score. Got to be thinking about an onside kick. A lot of things going on that Denver sideline, but it all starts with getting one score.
Moreno gets a yard. Jaws, what they do well in that first drive that they haven't been able to repeat as we've gone on here.
You know, they ran some quick traps to the inside. They got that power game working, and then they ran a couple play actions for big plays. But it just seems after that first drive, I mean, San Diego just made some adjustments. Ron Rivera did a few things that the Denver Broncos did not expect, and all of a sudden they got nothing after that first drive. They've tried for the big shots. They just haven't been there.
And they dropped some passes and had a number of penalties that have hurt them.
8 penalties. They had 2 and a drop on a key drive late in the first half. The Moreno drive. No Sean shy of 5.
And Denver's in 4-down territory, obviously here. San Diego playing a lot of zone coverage, almost daring Denver to run the football. You want to get a good play called right here. You might even want to consider huddling, Jaws.
Yep.
You want your best stuff, you have to score right here.
Orton going to be brought down by Vaughn Martin from over the U.S.-Canadian border in London, Ontario.
Well, it looked like he was looking for no Sean Moreno out of the backfield, and Moreno fooled him. He kind of came out half speed and went east and west, didn't do anything definitive. And Orton couldn't figure out what he was doing. And there's a coverage sack. Bad route right there.
It's Vaughn Martin's first career sack.
And Antoine Barnes, once again, their pass rush specialist coming off the edge, forced Orton to step up.
And get a first down at the 3. Brandon Lloyd got a touchdown, and that is what he has done all year. Tough to catch balls in the air. His skills going up to get him have been outstanding this year.
Well, the coverage was there. Orton just had to make this throw. He just sticks it out there, and look at the catch by Brandon Lloyd. Eric Weddle just flat-footed, and Lloyd goes up and takes it away.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right?
Guy's got stick him on his hands. The Spider-Man couldn't have done that.
You know how we talk about a quarterback who's going to just stick a throw in there? That is the picture. Kyle Orton's face was, I ain't going to stick this throw to the one guy who can go up and get it for me. And it was Lloyd, who has 7 touchdowns on the year. Prater adds the extra point. Brandon Lloyd has bounced around 49ers, Redskins, with the Bears when Orton was there. They've hooked up in Denver, and they put up a very big stat season.
What's up? Stuart Scott with you on SportsCenter after the game. The GMC postgame report, highlights and analysis of tonight's Monday Nighter. The latest in Minnesota and the firing of Brad Childress, and Dwayne Wade shoots just 1 of 13, and the Miami Heat lose again. That plus the NL MVP. Mike, we got a bunch coming up.
All right, Stuart, thank you. Got some injury problems there in Miami. A couple of the guys who were supposed to support the big 3 of Bosch, Wade, and James knocked out for a while here. SportsCenter, full recap of that. Everything going on with the Vikings as well. Lining up for an onside kick here. See what Prater does. Kicks it away. At 35-14, Sproles with great speed to get all the way back. And it goes all the way to the back of the end zone. They'll take over at the 20.
Well, Phillip Rivers is having a great year, and he was phenomenal tonight. Here you see the quick release against pressure, and I love the accurate throw. The ball location, only Floyd could make the catch. And the one you saw Phillip Rivers, awareness up in the pocket, creativity, and the effort right here to get the first down. Here's what we all love about Phillip Rivers, that little kid enthusiasm to play the game. He is now moving up into the ranks as one of the elite NFL quarterbacks, my friend, Mr. Gruden.
That's why I had him on the bus. That's why he got a seat on the Monday Night Football bus. I know what I'm doing, Ron.
Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back. We got next week.
From their own 20 is Tolbert with 2 yards to the 22-yard line. John, would you like to update us on the bus performance of late?
Say whatever you want. When I get a guy and invite him onto the bus, I start with Eli Manning. What'd he do? 4 touchdowns, 300 yards, MVP. Dwight Freeney, come on the bus. He's the MVP of the game, 2 sacks. He forces a fumble. And then my friend T.O. comes on, goes for 141 yards, touchdown. touchdowns. Last week, my friend Starship 7 joined me. 413 yards, 6 touchdowns. Why not bring Philip Rivers on? He's the star of this show. He's thrown 4 touchdown passes. We've talked about everything there is to talk about on Philip Rivers.
And answer the question, who we have next week on the bus?
I'm going for Larry Fitzgerald.
All
Larry,
right.
if you're out there, please join me.
Please join me. Sproles gets a first down. You have more from the bus?
Well, the great thing with Philip Rivers is he taught me how to talk trash to Ron Jaworski. I can shut Jaworski up. Just listen to Philip Rivers.
After Jaws goes into one of his elaborate, quarterback, when he analyzes it real good, you just got to get him. You just got to get him. If he gets long-winded, ask him if he's writing a book, and then tell him to leave that chapter out and make it a mystery.
That's good. I like that.
I love that guy.
That's great. Yeah, I wrote a book. Games that change the game. Philip Rivers might be in one someday.
That's funny. The 34 is Tolbert. Going to get close to 100 yards here as he took it over midfield and to the 45-yard line. Gain of 22. That should put him at 104. You set me up for that?
I set you up, but seriously, he's right. Everything he said is exactly right about you. But the great thing about our bus, really, is we get the best players in football on that bus. In this NFL, we've met a lot of great guys this year.
Absolutely, I love the bus.
Has been fun. So, in spending the time with Rivers, what did you learn about him that you didn't know?
Well, he does talk trash, but it's no swearing, no profanity. It's clean trash.
On your bus?
Yeah, on our bus. We learned how to clean up our trash talking.
It's PG-13 trash talk is what he does on the field. Yeah. There's Tolbert. What a good night for this guy. Mike Tolbert is over 100. He had 100 against Arizona earlier in the season. You see Champ Bailey there. We talked to Champ about Rivers last night, and he said, first time we're out there playing, and this guy's chirping, and I'm wondering what's going on. It's one of Bailey's defensive players is hurt. Check on him here, and Champ said, then the guy went out and he played great, and he said he backed up his trash talk, but he never uses bad language. He's a PG, clean trash talker. We'll check on the injured Bronco after this timeout. $68,482 is the crowd. Just a little bit away from downtown San Diego at Qualcomm Stadium, where the Chargers are on their way to 5-5, with Oakland and Kansas City as division games still coming here. Other than the trip to India, good chance, barring injury, San Diego will be favored in the remainder of their games this year. It's Kyle Orton in Denver, staring 3-7 in the eye.
Well, they got some work to do.
Both starts, 66 to the offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
It's a big night for Coastal Carolina's Mike Tolbert. He's been a savior for this team. Moved from a fullback role to a role as not just a running back, but also a key contributor on a game-changing play in many ways. That fake punch for the first down.
The guy's doing it all. I mean, he's on special teams. He's running the ball for touchdowns on the goal line. He can get on the perimeter. Never in your wildest dreams did you expect Mike Tolbert to be the feature runner of the Chargers, and boy, is he taking advantage of these opportunities. But the San Diego Charger football team, when you look at the number of players that are playing not only good football, but great football that are undrafted free agents. Pro Bowl guard Chris Dillman, Antonio Gates, there's Tolbert, their leading tackler Stephen Cooper, defensive lineman Garay, their nose guard, Cesare, defensive end. There's 7 or 8 San Diego Chargers, Ron, that are outstanding players in the NFL that weren't even drafted.
Yeah, and you look at Antonio Garay, you mentioned him, and here's a guy that came out of nowhere a year ago, was bouncing around the league, and he has been just a horse inside a nose tackle, coming into this game with 37 tackles and 4 sacks. That's a productive nose tackle.
Delay game, offense, number 17. 5-yard penalty, third down.
The 3rd and 13 coming. I just want to point out that the Denver player injured before was Jason Hunter. He walked off with the training staff's assistance.
You know, if I'm on the Denver sideline, I might be getting my rookie quarterback loose inside of 5 minutes are down 3 touchdowns. You might want to get Tim Tebow a few throws, Ron. Let him get some action, some reps, game reps to learn from. There you see Brady Quinn, Tim Tebow. Got a lot to develop.
Sproles runs it inside for only about a yard. See McMichaels giving Sperry just off the practice squad a lesson.
John, I would imagine if Tim was going to come in, he might be over there loosen up a little bit rather than just standing around. So I would imagine we'll see Kyle Orton back in.
Yeah. Denver took a timeout. The big news of this NFL day was twofold. Nashville with Vince Young, and then Minneapolis with Brad Childress being fired. And things never were on the same page or the right page all the way through this Minnesota season, and really devolved with the loss to Green Bay yesterday, and Childress relieved of his duties today.
And sometimes, I really don't get it. Brad Childress, was a winning head coach. He came into Minnesota where it was a bad situation. He cleaned it up. They go to the NFC Championship game a year ago. And all of a sudden, here we are a few months later, the guy gets fired. It's a tough business. Sometimes I don't understand it. But I will say this. If I'm a Minnesota Viking player, you better show up and play football. You are accountable. You can't lay it on the coach's lap. There are a lot of guys going around these anonymous comments, fire the coach. I'd like to know who those guys are and see how they're playing.
Cypher's got the punt off, down at the 9-yard line by Eddie Royal.
I agree a lot of ways. 13 victories. You're one interception away from going to the Super Bowl. You sign an extension and you're fired 3 or 4 months later. I realize there's an urgency and a pressure to win, but it's tough, man. It's a tough league.
He lost the team in some way, shape, or form. That team is underperforming here, but you don't know where that fault lies or where it starts. I thought the point you just made is interesting. Think about last year in the NFC. 4 teams won playoff games. 2 of them gave their coaches contract extensions, Dallas and Minnesota. And neither of those guys are still the head coach of their team come Thanksgiving. Very interesting, immediate reactionary league that we're in now. Orton passed to Buckhalter. Brought down shy of the 20-yard line. Rather Moreno, I beg your pardon.
Mike, the demands are so high. I don't know if a coach can even reach those expectations that fans have and the media has. It just seems unless you hoist the Vince Lombardi Trophy, you're not very good, and that's incorrect. These are 32 of the greatest coaches in the world, these head coaches in the NFL. Just because you don't win doesn't make you a bad coach or a bad person.
Well, the thing changed overnight there quickly, and nobody will ever really know why it changed, how the dynamic changed. You sat there and you went back, you looked at the Favre thing last year. That was the dream scenario. Everything came together, and they tried to recreate it. And when those guys had to go down and Brett begged Brett to come back, maybe there was nothing to come back for, and just couldn't have worked this year.
Well, that's hard. You're basically trying to beg a guy to come back and duplicate what was a phenomenal season. And I don't really think Brett wanted to play. You send players down there, they talk the guy into coming back. They tried. I give them a lot of credit. They tried to duplicate their success. They lost some key players like Sidney Rice because of injury. They tried Randy Moss. They put the full court press on trying to win. It didn't work out. Move on.
Jabbar Gaffney with that catch to the 40. Leslie Frazier, their defensive coordinator, will take over. We'll see how he does, if it has the same instant impact Jason Garrett's promotion has made in Dallas. The Cowboys have won back-to-back. They have New Orleans for the Thanksgiving game. Through the hands of Gaffney, incomplete.
So, a lot of these yards, we're talking about passing yardage like it's the most important thing in the world, Ron.
I knew you were going
passing
there, John.
Yards. I fight about this every week, but a lot of these yards we're seeing accumulated now are meaningless yards. And you have to have balance. And the statistics that I'm hearing and reading about sometimes really aren't true. Meaningless yards mean nothing. You gotta strike while you have an opportunity to score. And what you're seeing right now is just too common.
Orton in trouble, brought down, sacked by Larry English. That's what John was talking about. Player who was taken in the first round in 2009. Comes back from a foot injury. He's missed a half dozen games. That's team sack 5 tonight.
Well, if they get this guy going English, they can be back in business. He's a first-round draft choice, as you note, Mike. And this guy can rush the passer. He's a converted defensive end. If they get he and Sean Phillips going, a little help from Barnes, who they just picked up from Philadelphia, they've got 3 athletic guys that can get after the quarterback.
Incomplete for Eddie Royal. We'll have 4th down coming up with 2:29 to go. And let's see what the Broncos are going to do. Go for it or punt? They're going to go for it. No, change his mind. Bring the punt team on.
I've been impressed with San Diego, Jaws.
I agree.
I mean, they're down 7-0. They scored 35 unanswered points, and they did it with good quality special teams play tonight. They got a fake punt to boot. They played outstanding defense, and Phillip Rivers got hot. And when they get Vincent Jackson back in Gates, you just saw English make a play. There's still a lot of talent here.
Steve Crosby, the Chargers special teams coach, will sleep good tonight.
Colquitt kicked it to Sproles to the 45-yard line. 2 more players have played for San Diego here tonight. That's 69 players on the year have played for this team. NFL high. And now as they get some players healthy and back, this is what they face at 5-5 a game out. Chiefs lead the division. They play them. They play everybody in the division one more time. You see some teams having bad seasons at the back end.
I see the San Diego Chargers back in business, Ron.
They got a number 17 guy. What's his name? Oh, Rivers. Yeah.
Well, you know, we talk about the
week.
bad starts, slow starts. But how about the fantastic finishes? Well, what is their record now in November and December, Mike, in the regular season in the last couple of years?
Mike showed it about 3 times.
You start paying attention.
I want to hear it again. It's undefeated.
John, if we project this win under Norv, it'll be 23-5. In November, December, January regular season games.
That's outstanding.
And 16 consecutive wins, too. Anything else you'd like to test me on before the 2-minute warning?
That's a great...
You know, we got Wink Martindale over there. We can play tic-tac-toe if you want. 2-minute warning in San Diego. Now, the cynic is going to sit here and say, those are 2 bad teams at 3-7. I'll give you a bit of reality here. Oh, they're not good teams, okay? But if Kansas City beats Seattle coming up this week, that's Curtis Brinkley, by the way, from Syracuse, who got the carry, and that makes it 70 players that have played for the Chargers this year. 70 different players with Brinkley. So if Kansas City beats Seattle, the winner of that game next week is going to be a game out of first place. And one of these teams will make the playoffs. So
you say that every week, Mike.
I understand, John.
NFC West, somebody's got to step up in that division.
I know.
Let's be honest. 3-7 against 3-7. Those 2 teams are better than that.
You saw Curtis Brinkley. I said he went to Syracuse. That's like the Big East in college football. Somebody's going to go to the BCS there. Somebody's going to go to the playoffs in the NFC West. And we'll see those 2 teams next Monday night in Arizona.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we mentioned
1 game out.
Yep, we mentioned it depends if Kansas City and Seattle works out that way. We mentioned the loss there. It's 5-15, the last 20 for Josh McDaniels and the Broncos after the 6-0 start. Go back to 71-72 the last time that happened. This kind of run of futility for the Broncos.
San Diego quietly puts up another 400 yards tonight. Jaws, this offense averaging over 420 coming in here tonight.
They did it easily. Could have
been
a lot worse.
Tough one for the Broncos to take. They have been blown out by this Charger team each of the last 3 years. 41-3, 52-21, 32-3 in the last 3 years. Now add 35-14. And these teams will see each other in Denver on the 2nd of January. 5-5 Chargers get the Colts on Sunday night. Denver will play one of those teams from the NFC West, St. Louis. As the Broncos fall to 3-7. In last by 2 in the West. 35-14 tonight. Hey, have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Enjoy it with your families. Enjoy the great football coming up. And we'll see you next Monday night. John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Michelle Tafoya, and our great Monday night crew, Mike Tirico. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We say goodnight from San Diego, and this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. The Rivers and the Chargers are rolling. San Diego wins by 21. We got the Niners and the Cardinals for you next week.